Dog with no front legs cried for help. What humans did next moved the world. The rain fell in sheets, each drop a cold, sharp needle against his exposed skin. But it was the ache in his chest, a hollow, gnawing emptiness, that truly pierced him. He lay huddled beneath the skeletal branches of a forgotten oak, his small body trembling not just from the cold, but from a fear so profound it tasted like rust on his tongue. His two front legs, once strong and eager, were gone, leaving only scarred, tender stumps that pulsed with phantom pain. He whimpered, a sound barely audible above the storm, a desperate plea for a world that seemed to have forgotten him. His eyes, wide and dark, searched the swirling gray for any sign, any flicker of hope. But there was only the relentless downpour and the crushing weight of his own solitude. He was a creature of the wild, born to run, to chase the scent of freedom across open fields. But a cruel twist of fate, a careless human act, had stolen that from him. He remembered the blinding flash, the searing pain, and then the long, agonizing days of dragging himself through the undergrowth, driven by an instinct to survive that warred constantly with the despair. His name, if he'd ever had one, was lost to the wind. He was just a dog, a three-legged shadow, a testament to resilience and suffering. He'd learned to move, a clumsy, determined hop, hop, hop. But the effort was exhausting, and the world felt impossibly vast and indifferent. He'd seen humans before, always from a distance, their towering forms a mix of curiosity and terror. They were the givers of both pain and sometimes of scraps. But none had ever truly seen him, not the way he longed to be seen, as a living, breathing soul, not just a broken thing. His stomach growled, a painful reminder of days without food. He tried to shift, to find a more comfortable position, but every movement sent a fresh wave of agony through his missing limbs. He closed his eyes, wishing for the darkness to simply swallow him whole. It was then, through the drumming of the rain, that he heard it, a faint, rhythmic thudding, growing steadily louder. His ears perked, a flicker of primal fear, then a desperate, almost foolish hope. He opened his eyes, peering through the curtain of rain, and saw a silhouette emerge from the gloom. A large, imposing figure, moving with a deliberate, powerful stride. It was a human, but unlike any he had seen before. This one carried an aura of quiet strength, a determination that seemed to cut through the storm itself. And here's where everything changed, not just for him, but for everyone who would eventually hear his story. Before I tell you what happened next, and trust me, you need to hear this, make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Stories like these, they need to be shared. They need to be remembered, because they remind us of the incredible capacity for kindness that exists in the world, and the unbreakable spirit of those who overcome the impossible. Join our pack by hitting that subscribe button. You'll want to be here for every story that reminds us what truly matters. The figure drew closer, and the dog could make out the broad shoulders, the determined set of the jaw, the kind of presence that commanded attention. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger, a man whose own life had been a testament to overcoming challenges, to pushing beyond perceived limits. He wasn't looking for anything in particular, just taking his usual solitary walk, a way to clear his mind. But then, a faint whimper, almost lost in the wind, caught his ear. He paused, his gaze sweeping the desolate landscape, and that's when he saw him, a small, wet bundle of fur, barely visible beneath the oak. Arnold's heart, usually so focused on grand ambitions, softened instantly. He saw not a broken animal, but a creature in profound distress, a soul crying out for help. He approached slowly, his voice a low, comforting rumble. "Hey there, little guy. What are you doing out here?" The dog flinched, fear a cold knot in his belly, but something in the man's voice, a deep, resonant calm, held him. He didn't bolt, couldn't, even if he wanted to. He just watched, his eyes wide with a mixture of terror and a fragile, desperate hope. Arnold knelt, ignoring the mud and the driving rain. He didn't reach out immediately, understanding the animal's fear. He just stayed there, a silent, reassuring presence. "It's okay," he murmured, his voice a gentle balm. "I won't hurt you." The dog whimpered again, a soft, pleading sound that tore at Arnold's chest. He noticed the missing front legs, the raw, vulnerable stumps, and a wave of profound sadness washed over him. This dog, this brave little soul, had endured so much. Tell me in the comments if you've ever felt this way, seeing an animal in such need and felt that powerful urge to help. Slowly, cautiously, Arnold extended a hand, not to touch, but to offer. He had a protein bar in his pocket, a small offering. He unwrapped it, the crinkle of the foil a loud sound in the quiet storm, and broke off a piece, placing it gently on the wet ground a few feet from the dog. The dog watched, his nose twitching, the scent of food a powerful lure. Hunger warred with fear. Finally, with a hesitant, almost imperceptible movement, he nudged forward, his 3 legs working in a clumsy dance, and sniffed the offering. He ate it quickly, ravenously, then looked up at Arnold, a flicker of something new in his eyes, not just fear, but a nascent trust. Arnold smiled, a genuine, warm expression that reached his eyes. "Good boy," he whispered. "You're a very good boy." The decision was made in that moment. Arnold couldn't leave him. He carefully, slowly reached out and scooped the small, trembling body into his arms. The dog tensed, a brief moment of panic, but then, feeling the warmth, the gentle strength of Arnold's embrace, he relaxed, pressing his head against the man's chest. He could feel the steady beat of Arnold's heart, a rhythm of safety and kindness he had never known. It was a profound shift, an internal earthquake. For his entire life, he had been small, silent, powerless, but held in Arnold's arms. Feeling the man's compassion like a warm blanket, he realized something fundamental. Powerless was a lie he'd been telling himself. He had survived. He had cried for help, and someone had heard. Arnold carried him through the rain. The dog nestled securely against him, feeling the rhythmic sway of his powerful stride. He took him straight to his car, then to the nearest veterinary clinic, explaining the situation with a quiet urgency. The vets were amazed by the dog's resilience and by Arnold's immediate, unwavering commitment. They examined him, cleaned his wounds, and gave him pain medication. The dog, whom Arnold decided to name Champion for his incredible spirit, looked up at Arnold from the examination table, his eyes filled with a gratitude so deep it felt like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. Arnold stayed by his side, stroking his head, whispering words of comfort. He arranged for Champion to have a custom-made cart, a set of wheels that would give him back his mobility, his freedom. The journey of Champion's recovery was slow but filled with an unwavering determination. Arnold was there every step of the way, overseeing his physical therapy, celebrating every small victory. The day Champion first tried his new cart was a moment of pure, unadulterated joy. He wobbled at first, his 3 legs learning to coordinate with the wheels. But then, with a burst of energy, he was off, rolling across the floor, a triumphant bark escaping his throat. It was a sound of pure liberation, a testament to a spirit that refused to be broken. Arnold watched, tears in his eyes, feeling a love so fierce it burned hotter than any forge. Champion wasn't just a dog, he was a symbol of hope, a living embodiment of what happens when compassion meets courage. The story of Arnold and Champion spread like wildfire, touching hearts around the globe, inspiring countless others to open their homes and their hearts to animals in need. You see, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's feeling that fear, that pain, that despair, and still finding the strength to whimper for help, to keep going, to trust again. Sometimes the most broken among us carry the greatest capacity for love and resilience. This is what I've learned in my own journey, that our scars, our struggles, they don't define our worth. They reveal our strength, our capacity for healing, and our profound ability to connect with others. Champion, the dog with no front legs, cried for help, and what Arnold Schwarzenegger did next moved the world. Not just because of his fame, but because of his simple, profound act of human kindness. It reminds us that every life has value, every soul deserves a second chance, and sometimes the greatest strength comes from the most vulnerable among us. If this story touched you, leave a comment below. Share your own story. We're all in this together.